Okay, so what are we doing today? Well, you'll see. So this is an original IBM AT computer. I'm going to turn this puppy on here. Okay, so now we have a 162 error. And what that usually is, and it says 162 system options not set, run setup. Typically what that 162 error is this thing here. And what this thing here is this. I'm going to shut this off. And typically it's the battery that we're going to test. So I'm going to pop that out here. So this is supposed to be 6 volts. So let's put this on the bench and measure the 6 volts. And I have a battery that I can replace this with, and I'll show you what that is if in fact it's the battery. Okay, so let's turn this guy on here. And that would be the positive, and this would be the negative, and the battery's dead. 2 millivolts. You might as well be 0. So we're gonna, first things first is we're gonna replace the battery on that. And what I do for a 6-volt battery, you can't recharge this. It's lithium, but it's not lithium ion, by the way. So we're gonna replace it with one of these guys. And what this is a photography battery. It's a lithium battery. It's 6 volts. And what we're going to do is we're going to solder these leads onto here. So I'm going to plug in the soldering iron and we'll get to it. Okay, so first things first, let's measure the voltage on here. Make sure this is charged up. And sure enough, 6.6 volts, more than enough for what we need. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is snip the wires off of here. And I was going to say I'm just curious to see what they've got in here, but it's just probably just a couple of A-type batteries. Now, you don't have to use a photocell battery, a photography battery. You can use any 6-volt battery, but you can actually just take a 4 AA battery holder and use that as well. The reason I don't do that is because I'm afraid of the 4 AA batteries being in that holder leaking and then getting it all over the motherboard. Less of a chance in my perspective of this leaking out. So, and this has a longer shelf life than just regular AA batteries. So we're going to go ahead and just cut this here. And then we'll just strip these guys. And then we're going to tin them. Then I'm going to take this guy, minus is to the left, and I'm going to put a little bit of paste on here. This is flux. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and, oops, want to double check that this is minuses on the right. Okay, and then plus is on the left here. Okay, so there's my new battery. And we can probably take this off. It's probably still sticky, so yeah. Yeah. Okay. So minus, just wanted to double check again before I plug this back into the computer. So now we got a 6-volt battery for the computer. Let's go back and plug this in. Okay, don't know how well you can see this, but we'll get to it now. This plug has three sockets, and there's 3 pins sticking out, but you notice one is skipped. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera here. So one is skipped, so you can't put this in wrong. Just got to make sure you got it right on the battery. Okay. Okay, so you can see where this goes. Let's get you a little better view here. Okay, so the battery on this AT is just right behind the plug for the keyboard. All right, so now let's turn this guy on and see what we've got. Okay, so here's the thing. We're going to get that error again because since the battery was depleted, it lost its settings. So keep an eye on that. Okay, so there's the 161 error, run setup. So what I have here is the, there it is. What I have here is a diagnostic, the AT diagnostic version 2.7 disk. So that's what I'm going to be putting in. And I'm going to hit Control Alt Delete so it starts up that disk. Okay, hit F1 to resume. Okay, so here basically what it says is, have you completed running this program since connecting the battery? So we'll say no. Okay. So is the date correct? Obviously not. So what's the date today? Today's May 10th. (2021). Okay, and the time is 24-hour time, so it's 15. Let me see here. It's 15:43. Oh, sorry, 19:43. Okay, 7:43 p.m. All right, is this correct? Yes. So now we have to answer a bunch of questions. Okay. So the diskette types. So drive A is not 1.2 megs. Actually, it might be. Let me see. So there's 2 disk drives installed. Drive A is a high capacity. Actually, it is 1.2 megs. So I'm going to say yes. Drive B is not a double-sided. It's actually a 1.4 meg. So that's wrong. So there's not a 1.4 meg. So it's a 3.5 inch disc. So we're going to go number 3. Okay. And the reason it detected a drive type different than the one we selected is because that's the last known drive that was, I guess, in the settings. But we are definitely going to be changing this to a 720K drive. So now 1.2 meg in drive A and 720K 3.5 inch in drive B, and that's correct. How many fix this? I have a hard disk in here. And if we would have tried F-disk, if we would have bypassed the setup and run F-disk, it wouldn't have seen the hard drive, just so you know. So we had to do this in order to recognize all the drives correctly. So we have one fixed drive. Okay. Now, the fixed disk type. You can find the fixed disk type by your model number drive on Google. But in this case, the drive has this, has this label on it. And that number 2 here on the top corner that you see of the drive label that's on it is the drive type. So this unstuck from the drive, but this is the label that was on the drive. And not only that, this is an original AT hard drive. It's 20 megs. It's made by Computer Memories Incorporated, CMI. So they were renowned for making bad drives. I mean, they started off good, but then they had so many quality issues. So this is an original drive. It's a type 2. So that's what we're going to type in here. So is this correct? Yes. And this is the primary display. We only have one display, so. The memory size, we are loaded with 640K because this 256 is 40K board, and I know that it's fully populated. And I do have an expansion memory, and it is 512K. That's on the expansion memory card, so that's correct. So this is just giving you the last chance to go and fix anything that's wrong, but everything in here, I already double checked as we've been going along, so these options are correct. So that 01152 KB is correct. That's 1 meg. So there we go. So notice that 161, 162 error went away. We're going to end the diagnostics. That screen that you just saw, by the way, is also the way you low-level format the hard drive if you needed to, but we don't need to because I believe the hard drive, well, we're going to find out if the hard drive is faulty or not. So I'm taking the floppy out right now. Going through the floppy drives right now, and let's see if it boots up off the hard drive. There we go. That is off the hard drive. There is this controller card in here that is for the 3.5-inch diskette. The controller card is actually pretty cool because it allows me to change the order of the drives if I want. Meaning I can make the 3.5-inch my primary drive, or I can make my 1.2 meg floppy my primary drive by changing a config setting. So anyways, the date is correct. So it kept the date, it kept the correct time, and I'm on drive C, and here's a directory of my hard drive that's on here, which is cool because I haven't used this since the battery went dead. So there you go. So that's pretty much. Now, if we shut this computer off and turn it back on, at this point, that battery that we put in should have saved the configuration. And that battery is going to last for a very long time. That battery has a shelf life of like around 10 years. So I'm going to turn this computer back on now, and we shouldn't see that 161, 162 error any longer. So there you go. No error. And it's going to go right. It's going through the floppies right now. It's going to go. There you go. Now it's booting off the hard drive. So there you have it. Bottom line, if you get a 161, 162 error, I would strongly suggest that you take a look at the voltage on the battery, because it may be nothing more than the battery being dead, and you'd have to replace the battery. And like I said, I use the batteries that they use in the cameras. They're small, they're lithium, they're 6 volts, and they'll last a very long time. So hope this helped you out, and if you have any comments or questions, well, leave a comment. All right, so there you have it. Hope you're having a good one. Restore stuff. It's always nice to bring things back from the dead, and live today like it's your last. Have fun. Take care.